On the Black Sea coast of the Krasnodar Krai region of Russia, there's a remarkable prehistoric monument, the construction of which cannot be explained to this day. This monument is known as the Volkonsky dolmen. Dolmens are ancient megalithic structures, typically composed of large stone slabs, and their purpose is still debated. The Volkonsky dolmen, however, stands out from the typical dolmens found around the world. Unlike most dolmens, which are constructed from multiple stones, the Volkonsky dolmen was carved from a single giant boulder. This method of construction demonstrates remarkable skill and precision, suggesting that the builders possessed advanced stone-working techniques for their time and possibly the use of some kind of machinery. At the entrance of the dolmen, we can see the remarkably smooth surfaces and straight lines forming a rectangular cut. Achieving such precision with primitive tools would be nearly impossible. As you can see, the wall is perfectly polished. On the Russian website dopotopa.com, we found an article on the Volkonsky dolmen, which includes close-up photos revealing that there are small inclusions of oxidized iron on the front wall of the dolmen. And if we look closer, we can see an interesting pattern on the surface. What caused these intrusions is still unknown. The Volkonsky dolmen is generally believed to date back at least to the early Bronze Age, around 3000 to 2000 BCE. However, the remarkable construction techniques and precision exhibited by the structure have led some to speculate that it could be much older than currently estimated. Given the advanced nature of the dolmen, it raises intriguing questions about who could have built such a structure. What kind of advanced civilization possessed the knowledge and tools necessary to carve a massive boulder with such precision? How can such precision be achieved with primitive Bronze Age tools? The entrance hole of the dolmen is perfectly circular, which is difficult to achieve without advanced drilling equipment. If we go inside the dolmen, we are met by a large interior chamber that is designed perfectly symmetrical, with smooth walls and a uniform shape. The ceiling height of the inner chamber is about 1.5 meters, or approximately 60 inches. This height allows for a spacious interior, considering the overall size and construction constraints of the dolmen. The precision in maintaining this height throughout the chamber further exemplifies the advanced techniques used by the builders. The walls of the chamber are uniformly smooth and exhibit acoustic properties as they capture and enhance the vibrations of sound. The exact weight of the Volkonsky dolmen is difficult to determine without precise measurements, but it is estimated to weigh around 40 tons. The massive size and weight of the dolmen add to the mystery of how ancient builders were able to carve, transport, and place such a colossal stone with the precision and skill evident in its construction. Things got even more mysterious when you look at the drill marks around the dolmen. There, we can see numerous unfinished stone blocks covered with tube drill holes. If you've watched our documentaries before, these remarkable drill holes probably look familiar to you. That's because similar holes can be found all across the world. In Egypt, particularly around the Giza Plateau, there are numerous instances of precise drill holes in stone, including drill holes in granite, which is one of the hardest materials on Earth. The exact same drill holes can be found all across the Americas in the megalithic structures in Peru, like those inside the Coricancha temple. They can be seen in Pumapunku in Bolivia, and even in European megaliths like those in Italy. All of these holes, much like those near the Volkonsky dolmen, exhibit a high degree of accuracy and uniformity. The similarities raise questions about whether these ancient megalithic structures were all built by the same builders belonging to a now lost unknown civilization possessing advanced technology and machinery. But that's not all. Near the Volkonsky dolmen, there's an ancient water channel that's clearly artificially made. The water comes from an unknown underground source and contains hydrogen sulfide. The presence of this compound in the water hints at the geological and chemical processes occurring deep underground. Historically, hydrogen sulfide-rich waters have been sought after for their perceived therapeutic properties. Such waters are often found in natural spas and are believed to offer health benefits. This could imply that the area around the Volkonsky dolmen was considered a place of healing and rejuvenation by ancient peoples, although the true purpose of the structure could be much more sophisticated. Mainstream scientists claim that all dolmens around the world are simply tombs, although not much evidence supports this theory. There are other theories, though. This study, authored by scientists from the Superbrain Research Group organization in Italy, revealed some incredible data that shows how the dolmens around the world exhibit remarkable properties. The dolmen studied in this paper was shown to generate significant subsurface vibrations in the 7 to 12 Hz frequency range, with an average of 8 Hz. These low-frequency sounds, which are inaudible to the human ear, can entrain brain waves into a relaxed state, potentially inducing altered states of consciousness. The large stones of the dolmen act as transducers, effectively transmitting strong infrasonic vibrations from the ground to the air above and below the capstone. This capability is similar to other ancient sites, suggesting a purposeful selection of these locations for their natural vibratory properties. Similar infrasonic vibrations were found at other ancient sites, such as the dolmen in Parque Megalítico dos Cordeiros in Portugal, which also acts as a transducer of subsurface vibrations. This reinforces the idea that ancient builders were aware of and utilized these natural phenomena. What's even more remarkable is that they revealed that the resonance vibrations from the dolmens generate electrical activity as detected by an EEG device. Additionally, radon gas radioactivity, originating from underground, is higher inside the dolmen compared to outside, though still below dangerous levels. In this picture, you can see the radioactivity measured in open space on the left, and the radioactivity measured inside the dolmen in Portugal, which is 3 times higher. And dolmens are found all over the world, each with their own unique characteristics and mysteries. Europe is home to some of the most famous dolmens, particularly in countries like France, Spain, and the United Kingdom. In France, the Carnac stones and numerous dolmen sites in Brittany showcase the impressive scale and variety of these structures. Dolmens are even found in the remote areas of Scandinavia, particularly in Denmark and Sweden. They are found all across to Ireland, which is renowned for its numerous dolmens, often referred to as portal tombs. The Pulnabrone dolmen in County Clare is one of the most iconic examples, with its massive capstone and dramatic setting on the Burren limestone pavement. Irish dolmens are steeped in myth and legend, adding to their allure and historical significance. In Asia, dolmens are prevalent in countries like South Korea and India. The Korean peninsula, especially in regions like Gyeongju and Jeollanam-do, has thousands of dolmens that date back to the first millennium BCE. In India, dolmens are found in the southern states of Kerala and Karnataka, where they are typically associated with ancient burial practices. In North Africa, particularly in countries like Morocco and Algeria, dolmens are also part of the rich archaeological landscape. The Middle East, with its extensive history of ancient civilizations, also features numerous dolmens. In Jordan, for instance, dolmens are scattered across the countryside, often located in remote and rugged terrain. While less common, dolmens can also be found in North America. The dolmens in the northeastern United States, for instance, are often smaller and simpler in design but still represent significant archaeological interest. These structures add to the global narrative of megalithic construction and the cultural connections between ancient peoples. Even in regions like the Pacific Islands, dolmens are part of the broader tradition of megalithic architecture. These structures, though not as extensively documented, stress the ingenuity and adaptability of ancient builders across diverse environments. But let's get back to the Caucasus region of Russia and its neighboring countries. What may surprise you is that the Volkonsky dolmen we discussed is just one of thousands of dolmens scattered in the most inaccessible areas of the Caucasus. Although generally unknown to the rest of the world, these megaliths are equal to the great megaliths of Europe and Asia in terms of age and quality of architecture. Some believe that these dolmens are one of the oldest ones in the world, dating from 10,000 years to 25,000 years ago, while more conservative archaeologists date them at 4,000 to 6,000 years old. They are located in the foothills along the Black Sea coast, at elevations of about 250, 400 meters above sea level, or around 800 to 1,300 feet. Here is a map showcasing the location of some of the dolmens found in the area. As you can see, this zone represents the largest concentration of dolmens in Europe. Approximately 3,000 of these megalithic structures are known in the northwestern Caucasus, with new discoveries continually being made, though many are also being lost to destruction. It is estimated that originally there were about 10,000 dolmens in the Caucasus region. In 2007, decipherment by Andis Cowlins based on the Caucasus dolmens map showcased how the dolmens are aligned with star constellations and the summer solstice. During the spring equinox at sunrise, the sun illuminated the dolmen facade through the stone gate corridor. All of this is not surprising, considering all ancient megalithic structures around the world are somehow connected with the movement of the stars. In fact, in the inner chamber of a buried dolmen discovered in the Caucasus, a mysterious artifact was found. It was an ancient stone disc with carvings on its surface barely visible today. The carving on the disc resembled astral symbolism. There was a crescent moon, stars, and sun. The other side of the disc was even harder to decipher, but what was clearly visible were numerous notches located at equal intervals along the perimeter of the disc. The Institute of History of Material Culture of Russia concluded that, considering one side of the disc showcases astral symbols and the other side has measurement lines, the artifact was most likely a prehistoric instrument for astronomical observations. This would completely shatter everything we thought we know about the ancient civilizations of this region, meaning they were far more sophisticated than previously thought. But could this mean that the dolmens themselves had advanced knowledge carved into their surface? Curiously, there are numerous carvings with unknown meanings, including images of portals, 4 convex hemispheres, vertical and horizontal zigzags, and more. Roofs sometimes feature patterns of sequentially arranged hollows and crosses in circles, and other patterns. The meaning of these drawings remains unexplained by archaeologists, although many theorize that they represent their knowledge in architecture, mathematics, biology, astronomy, and physics. In a remarkable book written by historian archaeologist Dmitry Dmitriev and Stanislava Fialkovskaya, titled Secret of the Caucasian Dolmens, we found some incredible information. There, they showed the picture of an artifact discovered in a dolmen known as the Moon Dolmen. It was a damaged triangular altar slab which had large circles with smaller circles inside, possibly depicting the moment of egg fertilization. The cycle starts from the first day of menstruation. A circle in the lower left corner has a diagonal line pointing to the 5th notch, indicating 5 days of menstruation. Then follows a non-fertile period, shown by 2 circles with leftward markers. A circle at the middle of the scale points to the 12th notch, indicating the start of the fertile period, ending at the 18th notch as shown by a circle in the lower right corner. A large circle in the upper corner with 2 smaller circles inside depicts the development of identical twins. This slab served as both a calendar and a teaching aid for understanding conception. A similar conception calendar is carved on the moon dolmen's chamber's rear northeast wall, resembling a technical drawing. The vertical joints of chamber blocks serve as markers, with the first marker at the 5th hollow, indicating the end of menstruation. The second marker at the 10th, 11th, th hollows marks the end of the non-fertile period. The 11th to 19th days are fertile, with the third marker at the 14th hollow. Above this hollow are harmonic series, indicating the woman's ovulation energy spike. The conception calendar in the moon dolmen is flanked by 2 other calendars on the northwest and southeast walls. The southeast wall calendar, a continuation of the conception calendar, has larger hollows and vertical broken lines over the last hollows, indicating life energy entering a newborn during birth. As an example and for comparison, here's a modern basal chart and conception calendar. What is surprising is that the harmonic surges coincide on the dolmen builder's drawing and on the modern chart. This means that thousands of years ago, whoever built these structures had the same knowledge on these subjects as we do today. Currently, numerous dolmens are in significant disrepair and face the risk of being lost without protection from vandalism and neglect. So who knows what other secrets could be decoded on their design? Each dolmen features a central portal, with some constructed from multiple stones and others carved from a single stone. While round portholes are the most prevalent, square ones also exist. Stone plugs, often found with these structures, were used to block the portholes and sometimes have a phallic shape. Notably, the entrance of a Caucasian dolmen is always on the south side. The majority of these dolmens feature remarkable architectural characteristics, like this one, for example, which has perfectly flat surfaces. As you can see, the stone blocks are perfectly fitted together with minimal gaps. And here's an example of a dolmen with a large stone plug found next to it, suggesting the dolmen was once sealed. As you can see, there's an indentation around the perfectly circular hole of this dolmen, which was probably made so that the stone plug creates a hermetic seal when plugged. It's interesting to note that there are some dolmens that imitate a stone plug, like this one, for example. This is a fake plug carved into the rock in a perfectly oval 3D manner. It's unknown how such perfection and smooth work can be made using primitive tools. If you look at this picture, you can see numerous dolmens from the Caucasus region, some featuring plugs, some missing their plugs and having just a hole, and some having a fake plug carved into the rock. The details and carvings on the stone blocks are remarkable. Take a closer look at the dolmens and see how fine and precise their carvings are. Interestingly, there's an old legend about the construction of the dolmens in the Caucasus region. According to the story, thousands of years ago, there were ancient giants tall as trees, hunting and fishing for sustenance. The giants, although fearsome, lacked intelligence and were tricked into serving a race of dwarfs. The dwarfs persuade the giants to build them numerous cozy and comfortable houses in the mountains. These houses had only one round hole, just large enough for the dwarfs to crawl through, ensuring that the giants could not enter. Many years have passed since then, and both the giants and dwarfs have vanished from the land. Yet, the stone houses, built by the giants under the direction of the dwarfs, still stand to this day, serving as a mysterious reminder of this ancient legend. This old tale about giants from the Caucasus is quite different from most ancient myths and legends about giants, as it also describes the giants as gentle and kind. Whether there's any truth to this legend, we cannot know. But interestingly, although science can't confirm the existence of prehistoric giants in these regions, it has confirmed the existence of a lost prehistoric civilization. There's something called the Black Sea Deluge hypothesis, which posits that the Black Sea was once a smaller freshwater lake and home to numerous ancient cities, until thousands of years ago, a catastrophic flood event transformed the modest lake into the vast Black Sea we know today. The Black Sea is a large inland sea situated between southeastern Europe and western Asia. It is connected to the Mediterranean Sea via the Bosphorus Strait, the Sea of Marmara, and the Dardanelles. Geologists believe that during the last ice age, around 20,000 years ago, sea levels were much lower due to the vast amounts of water trapped in ice sheets. Consequently, the Black Sea was isolated from the world's oceans and existed as a smaller, freshwater lake. The Black Sea Deluge hypothesis was prominently proposed by geologists William Ryan and Walter Pittman in the late 1990s. According to their theory, around 7,600 years ago, as the glaciers melted and sea levels rose, the Mediterranean Sea breached the Bosphorus Strait. This event led to an immense and rapid influx of salt water into the freshwater lake, raising its level by hundreds of feet and expanding its surface area dramatically. The hypothesis is supported by geological evidence, including ancient shorelines and sediments that suggest a significant and abrupt rise in water levels. Additionally, underwater exploration has uncovered submerged settlements and artifacts, indicating that the area was once inhabited by mysterious civilizations of which we know nothing about. One of the most compelling pieces of evidence supporting the existence of an early civilization is the submerged settlement found off the coast of Bulgaria. This site, which dates back to around 5000 BCE, includes remnants of houses, hearths, and pottery, indicating a well-developed community that was abruptly submerged. The discovery proved that ancient people lived here at least 1,000 years earlier than mainstream science believed, at a time when the water level was 16.5 feet or 5 meters lower than it is now. This catastrophic flooding event has also been linked to the myriad flood myths found in various cultures. For instance, the story of Noah's Ark in the Judeo-Christian tradition and the Epic of Gilgamesh in Mesopotamian mythology both describe a great flood that wiped out civilizations. Some scholars suggest that these myths could be cultural memories of the Black Sea flood, passed down through generations. If the Black Sea Deluge hypothesis is correct, it will reshape our understanding of the prehistoric past of the region and the early human civilizations that inhabited it. It was this flood that displaced large populations, forcing migrations and possibly contributing to the spread of agricultural practices and technological innovations across Europe and Asia. Moreover, this hypothesis challenges the traditional view that significant human civilizations arose only in the Near East and Mesopotamia. In fact, it would mean that these civilizations were inheritors and descendants of this prehistoric lost ancient civilization that developed independently around the Black Sea, thriving in the fertile and resource-rich environment until their abrupt demise due to the flood. Could all of these sophisticated large dolmens all across the shores of the sea be remnants of this lost civilization? Whoever built these remarkable structures numbering in the thousands was most definitely much more sophisticated than the primitive hunter-gatherers described in our history books. These megalithic constructions indicate a society with advanced engineering skills, social organization, and knowledge of astrology, biology, mathematics, and geometry. This would imply the existence of a division of labor with specific roles for construction, planning, and resource allocation. Such societal complexity is a hallmark of advanced civilizations and challenges the notion that sophisticated social and technological development only emerged in the more traditionally recognized cradles of civilization. Continued exploration and research will undoubtedly reveal more about this fascinating and formative period, offering deeper insights into our collective past and the enduring legacy of those who came before us.